Nobody gets married thinking about what happens to the money if it ends, and then it ends. And suddenly, the financial life you built together, the joint accounts, the shared mortgage, the pension you never thought about individually, the credit card you forgot was in both names, becomes the most complicated thing you have ever had to untangle. While grieving, while managing children in many cases, while trying to figure out who you are on the other side of something that redefined your entire life, the emotional weight of divorce is real and it deserves real support. But the financial mistakes made in the first year after divorce are also real, and they are permanent in ways that take decades to recover from. This video is the financial playbook nobody handed you when you needed it most. Let me tell you about Claire. Claire is 38. She was married for 9 years. She and her husband shared everything: a joint checking account, a joint mortgage, a shared investment account, and a lifestyle built on two incomes. When the marriage ended, Claire did what most people do in the immediate aftermath. She focused on surviving it emotionally. She focused on the legal process. She focused on the children. She focused on getting through each day. The financial stuff, she told herself she would deal with it properly once the dust settled. The dust took 18 months to settle. During those 18 months, several things happened that cost her significantly. She forgot to update her beneficiary designations. Her RRSP and life insurance still named her ex-husband as the beneficiary for 8 months after the separation was finalized. She kept a joint credit card open during the separation. Her ex made purchases on it. The debt became a shared liability during a period when her ex's finances were deteriorating. She accepted the family home in the settlement because it felt emotionally right, without fully calculating whether she could carry the mortgage, the property taxes, and the maintenance on a single income. She never opened her own credit file independently before the marriage ended. Her credit history was largely attached to joint accounts. Rebuilding independent credit from scratch at 38 took longer and cost more than she expected. None of these were failures of character. They were the natural result of navigating a financial life that was built for two: alone, under stress, without a clear playbook for what to do first. Here is why the first year after divorce is so financially dangerous, even for people who are generally good with money. Divorce does not just end a relationship, it ends a financial architecture. Think of your joint financial life like a building that two people designed and maintained together. When one person leaves, the building does not disappear, it stays standing. But suddenly, one person has to maintain the entire structure alone. And while they are figuring out which walls are load-bearing and which ones can come down, they are also dealing with the grief of losing the person who helped design it. The financial mistakes made during this period are not stupidity. They are the inevitable result of trying to re-architect a financial life under conditions of maximum emotional stress, without a clear sequence for what to address first. The sequence matters enormously because some financial mistakes made in the first year after divorce are recoverable. Others take 5 to 10 years to undo, and a small number are permanent. Knowing which is which, before the decisions are made, is the difference between a first year that sets you up and a first year that sets you back. Let me be specific about what the common first-year mistakes actually cost. A beneficiary designation, left unchanged after separation, means your ex-husband or ex-wife receives your RRSP, your pension, and your life insurance payout if you die during that window. In most Canadian provinces, separation alone does not automatically revoke a beneficiary designation. Only updating the form does. This is a potentially life-altering oversight that takes 10 minutes to prevent. A joint credit card kept open during a contentious separation, where one party continues spending, creates shared liability that affects both credit files and both financial positions. Closing joint credit accounts or having yourself removed as a cosigner is time-sensitive and requires action, not waiting. Accepting the family home without stress testing the single income carrying cost is one of the most common and most expensive divorce financial mistakes. Carrying a mortgage Property taxes, maintenance, and utilities on one income, when those costs were designed for two, can trap someone in a financially unsustainable position for years. The emotional attachment to keeping the family home is completely understandable. The financial calculation has to happen alongside it. Starting life as a single person with no independent credit history, having relied entirely on joint accounts, means rebuilding from scratch. A secured credit card, used correctly and paid in full monthly, is the practical tool for this, but it takes 18 to 24 months to build meaningful, independent credit history, and the process needs to start immediately, not after everything else settles. Here is the reframe that changes how you navigate the first year. Most people treat divorce as an event that happened, and the financial rebuilding as something that comes after. The more useful frame is this: divorce is not an ending with a recovery phase. It is the beginning of a completely new financial architecture. And like any new construction, the foundation has to be laid before the floors go in. The floors before the walls before the roof. There is a sequence to building a financial life from scratch. It is the same sequence whether you're 25 and starting out for the first time, or 38 and starting over after a marriage ends. The difference for someone rebuilding after divorce is that there is debris from the previous structure that has to be cleared before the new one can be built. The first year is the clearing and the foundation, not the finished house. The foundation, and a foundation built correctly, even slowly, even under stress, holds everything that comes after it. Here is the sequence: the financial playbook for year one. The first thing, before anything else, is separation of all financial accounts and obligations. Open a personal checking account in your name only if you do not already have one. Redirect your income to it immediately. Establish your own banking identity separate from the joint financial life you are unwinding. Do this in the first week if possible, not the first month, the first week. The second thing is updating every beneficiary designation. Log into every financial account: RRSP, TFSA, pension, life insurance policies. Find the beneficiary section. Remove your ex-spouse and name a new beneficiary: a parent, a sibling, a trusted person, or your state pending legal advice. This takes 30 to 60 minutes. It is one of the highest stakes 30 minutes of your post-divorce financial life. Do not defer it. The third thing is addressing joint credit obligations. Make a complete list of every account, credit card, loan, or line of credit that has both names attached to it. For each one, understand whether you are a joint account holder or a co-signer. Contact the lenders. Request removal of one party or closure of the account where possible. Do not assume that a separation agreement between you and your ex absolves you of joint debt in the eyes of lenders. It does not. The lender's contract is with both names on the account, regardless of what your private agreement says. Joint debt requires joint resolution with the lender directly. The fourth thing is stress testing your new single income budget. Build a complete picture of your monthly income, what you actually take home. Then list every fixed expense: housing, utilities, insurance, phone, debt minimums, childcare if applicable. The gap between those two numbers is your operational reality as a single person. If the housing costs alone consume more than 40 to 50% of your take-home income, that is unsustainable, and the housing decision needs to be revisited before it becomes a crisis rather than a choice. The fifth thing is beginning independent credit building immediately. If your credit history is thin because most accounts were joint, apply for a secured credit card or a low-limit credit card in your name only. Use it for one or two recurring expenses each month. Pay the full balance every month without exception. 18 to 24 months of this builds a meaningful, independent credit file. Starting it on month one of your new financial life means you have a solid credit foundation by year two, rather than discovering the gap when you need to qualify for something. The sixth thing is engaging a fee-only financial planner for a single session. not to manage your investments. To look at your post settlement financial picture with professional eyes, your pension entitlement, your RRSP room, your TFSA room, your insurance gaps, and your realistic retirement timeline as a single person. One session. Current costs typically $300 to $800 depending on the provider. Worth it as a post-divorce financial recalibration. The seventh thing, and this one cannot be done alone, is consulting a family lawyer about your specific provincial or national division rules before the settlement is finalized. In Canada, pension division on marriage breakdown, matrimonial home rules, and spousal support entitlements vary by province. In Ontario, the Family Law Act governs equalization of net family property. In British Columbia, the Family Law Act has different provisions. In the UK, the approach is discretionary. In Australia, the Family Law Act applies. The financial decisions made during settlement have permanent consequences. Making them without legal advice specific to your jurisdiction is one of the most expensive mistakes available in this process. Here is the mindset shift that matters most in year one. The financial life you had before was built for two. The financial life you are building now is built for one. That is not a diminished version of what you had. It is a different structure, one that you design entirely, control entirely, and benefit from entirely. The financial architecture of a single person, done well, is not the consolation prize after a marriage ends. It is a foundation that nobody can destabilize, an account nobody can drain, a plan nobody can override. Claire, at 40, 2 years after her divorce, has a TFSA in her name only, an RRSP she understands fully, a mortgage she stress tested before keeping, beneficiaries that reflect her actual wishes, independent credit she built herself. She did not build it perfectly. She built it intentionally. And intentional beats perfect every time. The first year after divorce is hard. Nobody who has been through it will tell you otherwise. But hard and financially chaotic are not the same thing. Hard with a plan is survivable. Hard without one compounds in ways that take years to unwind. Separate the accounts in week one. Update the beneficiaries before the month is out. Address the joint credit now. Stress test the housing decision before the settlement is signed. Start building independent credit immediately. Get one session with a fee-only financial planner. Get proper legal advice before anything is finalized. 7 steps. In order. As fast as the process allows. The financial life on the other side of this does not look like what you lost. It looks like what you build. And what you build, this time, is entirely yours. Drop a comment if this video came at the right time for you. You do not need to share details. Just know I read every comment and you are not navigating this alone. If you have a specific financial question about the first year, ask it below and I will answer directly. If you know someone who is going through this right now and has not yet had the financial conversation, share this video quietly, not as advice, as a resource they can come back to when they are ready. Subscribe to Nuella Invests. Every week, we cover the financial decisions that come with the biggest moments of your life. All of them. See you in the next one.